Hello and welcome to another rewind episode where I talk to Mash, who's actually not here, but because of the time zones and the way that um, Australia is not friendly with other countries due to the time zone, I recorded an episode with Mash a lot earlier, and I will play the episode for you guys. I'll still be here, I'll be in chat, and then once that's played out, I'm happy to hang around, ask any questions, show you guys our OCS team, and a few other things. Um, so yeah, that's why there's a blank canvas where Mash's face would be, but if you look at it shortly, there will be a full Mash head ready to go. Um, but yeah, so that's what's happening, just so you guys know. Um, Recorded something a lot earlier with Mash. Uh, I made sure to capture it, and I'm gonna give it a run. So yeah, and if there's any questions you guys have, please message me in chat, and I will get to you. I will get back to you, and I'll answer it at the end. So without further ado, I will introduce you to my VOD with the Ahmed Mashton. Welcome to the Rewind. For this week, I'm joined by Brandon Mash Fan. And if you don't know who the Mashton or the Brandon Mash Fan is, he's played in the NACS, which is the North American Challenger Series. He's played in the LCS and the OPL. He's coached. He's also coached in the Academy League, which is the NACS, which is like it's all a bit confusing. And he's also coached in the OPL for like maybe was it 1 week or 2 weeks or
Like a week or two,
a
yeah.
week or two. And now Mash is a free agent, and he is exploring all options for Split 2 in 2019. So please feel free to hit him up if you have any inquiries, any business inquiries.
Flex
Uh,
queue, solo queue, duo queue, yeah, I'm
d-
all up for it.
Dynamic queue, um, and I will be myself, moi, answering questions later on. So yeah, feel free to drop that in the chat, and I'll take them, save them, put them somewhere safe. Um, but yeah, welcome, Mash. It's good to have you on. I don't think I've ever sat down and I haven't sat down properly and had a conversation with you since Australia,
Since the beginning of the OPL split, yeah,
since
it's been a
Aussie,
while.
since Aussie.
Aussie burger.
Yeah. um, So I guess to start off, do you want to take us through your playing journey? Because I know you've played in a lot of promotions, relegations on in OS, out of OS, and you've done like many things. And I'm pretty sure not many people, even the people that you played with here, or probably don't even know your full journey. And it's pretty crazy because I was looking at it yesterday.
Are you talking about like when I first started playing
Yeah,
and like the game in general?
I reckon like we started when you first played Challenger series into like promotion or nearly promotion to LCS.
Uh,
Yeah,
gotcha.
yeah.
Yeah, I'll start with that. It was like a little bit right after high school. Um, I needed to finish like one more credit to graduate. So I did night school and I was doing practice with Team Dynamics slash GG at the time.
Mm,
So I was balancing that so I could graduate, not worry about high school afterwards, or in the case like if I make LCS, then don't have to worry about that one last credit.
yep.
And I got the last credit and qualified. So that was like probably like, my favorite time
That's
because it was
poggers.
like yeah, it's like after high school it's like, oh shit, you're done high school. It's like weight off your shoulders and I'm doing what I want. So I played LCS for a full year, then jumped between Challenger for that full year, qualified back in through the expansion tournament. Then that's when the whole 117 coast meme came along. Fucking dropped back to Challenger. Then I qualified in, but the team sold. But luckily, I was able to get myself onto LCS team
Who'd they
IP.
sell to?
Coast sold to Energy,
That's right.
which
Yeah.
later got relegated during my time on P1. But then I got into Team Impulse. They sold to P1, and I was on P1. Then I went back to Challenger playing on GCU. Then I joined Echo Fox. Uh, Long story with that. supposed to play LCS, didn't play much. Then
Was it an
joined up
was
with
it an
you in the
was it an unlucky
what
story?
it was yeah basically what we would call unlucky in NA or EU. Uh, then I joined the OPL with my man Juves on Mammoth. That was the whole journey.
Yeah, that's your playing, and then
Honestly,
that's your playing journey, right? And then you
yeah,
left O's. We're
yeah,
I'm not gonna go into the details, but we're tempted to come back. Was tempted to come back to a certain point or degree.
yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah.
and then what did you do? How did you end up on your coaching position, and where was it?
So basically, I was just solo queuing because I got like some offers in NA, but they're not good because no one knew how good I was when I came back from OS.
Mm.
So they're like, "Oh shit, you went to OS. We don't know really how good you are."
Come on,
No,
man.
no flame to oh, I know, right? But like that's how the NA people think about it. So it's like they think my skill level has dropped immensely. Then you probably heard about in-houses. People have heard about these in-houses,
Yeah,
and
wait.
I just
Do you wanna
completely
run
like,
through that there quickly? Because they probably don't know.
oh yeah, basically it's like um, basically you custom game 5v5,
Mm.
but it's invites only like academy players and LCS, which later became invites to like amateurs or like amateur teams.
If you're really good in
So
solo queue, you could get invited, right? As well.
you could get
Yeah,
invited,
yeah.
yeah. So funny enough, I started as like an unsigned player, like basically amateur, but it was like weird because I was talking to Nero about it. I was like, um, why am I not at least yellow or a blue? Which is blue is LCS,
Yep.
yellow is academy, and he's just like, oh, because you're unsigned and you came back, no. So I played through red. 1 week later, I got promoted to yellow academy. Then a week later, I got promoted to blue, which is LCS.
Yep.
So I completely like smashed these in houses. People, you probably hear about my Karthus and other mages I play. So I think that,
Mister
yeah, also known as Mr. Dickens in the bot lane, and I think I went like 40 and 20
in
in
houses.
those in yeah, probably highest win rate. And people were just like, "Wait, why is this guy not on a team? Like, this is crazy." Then I was on a team that split, but now I'm like talking to a bunch of teams and seeing where that plays out.
Maybe a lot of people now are like, damn, we need to go boot camp in O's. Maybe that's what it is.
Yeah,
Maybe it's the O's boot
yeah,
camp, and you come back and you're
yeah.
like insane player.
No, it's really funny because people were like memeing about like, oh my god, O's Karthus, O's brand. Like everyone was like memeing the O's Vlad and everything. So
We played
maybe that's
we played like
yeah,
a lot of Karthus bot, and no one could deal with it. I remember people used to
yeah,
ban it. Remember when it wasn't even meta, and we used to be in scrims or like we used to be OPL stage, and people would just straight ban Karthus bot. Majors weren't even good bot at that point.
yeah. That's just because Karthus was like low key OP.
Yeah, Karthus was OP, and Mash didn't miscues. Mash was script the Karthus. Mash was script the Karthus gonna get banned.
Yep. But yeah, that's how
That's crazy.
well, that's not how I became a coach, but
No, no, no.
it
Yeah,
was
yeah, yeah,
just
sorry. How did you?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So from there, it was just like I solo queued from then on. I got like top 20, top 30, 700 LP.
Mm.
Then later on,
Weird
I think
flex.
week 7 or week 8, TSM Academy just like reached out to me. It's like, hey, what are you doing? And I just told him just solo queuing. It's like, oh, would you like to watch our scrims and help out our bot lane? Like, okay, sure, why not? Like that's something I can do very easily because I play
Mm.
bot lane,
Mm.
and I worked with Peter Zhang in the past on Echo Fox. So I literally did that for a week. Then he's just like, "Oh, do you do that for any other lane?" I was like, "Yeah, I could do it for mid or top. Like, I have an eye for mechanics and matchups, so I can do it." So I did that with top for a week. Then eventually I just bounced back in between whichever I felt like needed more work,
Mm.
and then that just transitioned me becoming the assistant and positional coach because I was able to offer a lot more than just watching a lane for 10 minutes or like 20 minutes. Because I can offer like draft because I know like what champions are strong because I play solo queue very often. And then yeah, I just flew out for playoffs. Then we won, not
Yeah.
because
So,
of me, but
well,
as a collective group, we won. Yeah,
well, I mean, you can't really like you can't really go thinking about like those alternate universes, right? Like, cause like you won and you were the assistant slash positional coach for like a few weeks or a month or whatever it is, right? But like,
yeah,
but like you can think of the alternate universe where like if you don't go do that for those weeks, like they don't. There's an alternate universe where they don't win. So I think you should never undersell like what you did for the team, whether it be like the extra 1%, 2%, 3%, 10%, however much it was. Like yeah, like man,
Yeah,
if
yeah, I feel you. I
yeah.
just don't want to be like, oh yeah,
Oh,
I
I know.
fucking
Yeah,
hard carried this team. I 1v9 in draft. Like you don't fuck with
yeah.
me. Like,
I won.
nah, that,
I 1v9 their bot lane. Their bot lane was losing lane every game, but because of me, they were actually able to lane.
that's what it's really in the back of my head. You got me.
Yeah. All right. So I guess like yeah, that journey is like a crazy one. Do you have like a team or a time that was your most favorite? Like in terms of like because you've done the NACS, the LCS, and the OS, but you said specifically like I think there was one memory that was stood out to you. Is it when you were doing like your last credit and then you went and qualified for NACS? Was that the one
Or
that you
LCS,
LCS?
LCS,
Sorry,
LCS.
yeah. So that for you was your most fun time playing?
I think that was like what made me like really happy. I would
Mm.
say like
Mm.
oh that was like damn this is like a life changer. This is like what I've always wanted to finish high school. Like
Y-
I always wanted this out of the way because you played league in high school here and there, right?
Yeah. Well, no,
Yeah, and
uni,
you just
uni. I
like
never
man.
played in high school. No.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay. So you played in uni and
Yeah.
you just really want to finish uni as well.
Oh,
So it's like
100%.
yeah, it's like get this out of the way and like man, you even told me it's like oh it's so much easier to focus on league when you're not in school. Like
Y-
right?
Problem
So that
problem with me is I was always at school when I was doing uni. Actually, no, the year I played with you, I wasn't doing school. But
yeah, that's what
all
I'm
the
saying.
other
That's what
years
you
I was doing
told me.
school.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Um, and then like as proof that Mash actually finished high school, he does have a little picture in the top right, where he has his little I finished high school picture there. So that's very
Yeah,
nice,
yeah.
Mash. Congratulations.
Thank you, thank you.
Yeah.
That's the only education I have.
High IQ, high mechanic player.
High APM,
Yeah.
you know.
So after your stint in OS, what was your biggest? Did you have a biggest takeaway between OS and NA?
The solo queue like is better, honestly,
In NA?
because nah in OS, I
Huh?
think. Just because of the ping. Honestly, just
Oh,
because of the
really?
ping. Because in West Coast of America,
Mm.
it's like 60 to 70. And even when I was coaching TSM, I'm just like, man, this feels like so awful to play.
Yeah.
And there's just days where we had to scrim on live. I remember our last week of scrims before facing C9A, we had to scrim on live because all the university teams don't have TR. So
And you could only scrim uni teams?
yeah, and a lot of champions that we want to play. Let's just say example like Rise, you need like I'd say like 40 ping max
Yeah.
to like optimal rate. Like that
100%.
champion is just so hard to play, and for like Lissandra got nerfed on patch after, so we couldn't really play Lissandra, and we only got to play Lissandra like once on stage, and it's just really bad in
What's the
terms of
ping?
that. The ping
Yeah.
on live,
Yeah.
at this house or at that house, they play as like 70, but the average is like 60,
And
so they're
what
above the average by 10.
and what's the TR ping?
TR ping is like it should be like 10 to 20ish.
Oh,
It's
because
not that
they
bad.
have close servers for TR, I assume.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, so and for people that don't know, because there's probably some people who don't really know, like, wait, why is there 60
Tournament realm.
ping? You know, oh yeah, well, tournament realm, but that's, I mean, the ping in solo queue in North America is so high because they moved the server to be somewhat centralized so that people like on the outskirts kind of America or elsewhere in America can get normal ping, but because the country's like so big, the people in Cali, is it Cali?
Yeah, California.
Yeah, the people in California like uh lag when they play, not lag when they play solo queue. Their ping is just 60 to 70. Probably do some people probably have like 80 ping, right? Or not?
Oh, it depends how bad your internet is.
Ah,
Yeah.
right, okay. But yeah, never like it's pretty much where the server is why there's like high ping. And so like yeah, most players and pros play solo queue on like 60 ping at best or 50 ping, which is like you
Not
I
optimal.
I
Not
think you'd
optimal.
feel like you were lagging because it'd be like a 0.5 second maybe delay.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
if you think about like if you double that, if you double that or if you triple that even, that's like when OS was playing on North America, which it obviously tripling it is still huge, but playing on North America from OS is like 2 second delay on clicks or 1 second delay on clicks, and trying to do that in a
Yep.
professional environment, no bueno. But really, so you thought, yeah, so solo queue was better. Did you think solo queue might have been slightly better during the season when all the pros were playing because you would kind of get into each other's games a lot? Granted, there'd
Yeah,
be
yeah,
like the
yeah.
occasional like D4 player, but like, what did you think about that? Because I know you
I,
were saying like in the house you were like, oh, I swear I've versed this guy like 5 times in a row.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, it's just I think on season's really good.
Yeah,
It's just like everyone wants to play,
yeah,
but like I guess on the weekends or when it's not on season, yeah, I can see what you mean. Like there's just no one playing, so you end up getting against someone like that's Diamond 2,
yeah.
your challenger.
I think Diamond 2's a
And
good day at the moment.
yeah, but I think like talent-wise, it's like there's talent in O's for sure. Like there's always talent anywhere, I believe it.
Mm,
Compared to NA and O's, it's hard to compare that because the population in NA is just much greater than O's,
yeah,
right? And since I've played NACS and OPL, I think NACS was a better league than Academy, first off.
yeah, because
And I think yeah, yeah. So OPL is better than Academy. I think top four Academy
yeah,
can like I wouldn't say like beat, but I would say like compete against top four OP.
yeah. Okay, I think that could be true. Like I've seen some players in academy, and I've seen some,
Yeah,
and like I think that yeah they could compete. Um, um. So I spoke to Iniro last week, and he thinks that there's like some players in OPL that could play LCS right now. Not they wouldn't be like in a top 4 team, but they would be like in a like a bottom tier team, I guess, whatever that means. Um,
yeah,
but yeah, no, that's cool. Actually had no, I've known you, and I swear I was shocked when you said that the solo queue was good. I mean, better because of the ping.
yeah.
But
I'm
like, no,
serious.
it
The
makes
ping is
sense.
like
Yeah, no, it makes
huge.
sense. Yeah, it makes sense. Um, what were um, what were adjustments and slash challenges that you had while being in OS? Like, because
Getting
I
used to
don't think,
the
yeah, well,
brunch and good coffee.
yeah, Mash. For those of you that don't know Mash, every morning I'd be like, I'd wake up, and Mash was like, he was the guy that woke up like really early, and I'd be like, hey, I'd look for him because I'd be like, let's go get a coffee, let's go get brunch or something like that, and Mash was already at brunch. Come on, man.
Yeah, yeah. And everyone told me like no one plays Solk in the morning. I played one game. It
Yeah.
was fucking awful. It was awful. Like no one played. It was just like the Gremlins playing it or something. Like
Don't yeah. Morning solo queue is no bueno. But
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah. Like I guess I challenged that I'm gonna throw you under the bus. Like, don't go into the details of it, but like the
Okay.
details of why. But like as a challenge, like you were the coach, like tried coaching for like a week or two. So how was player coaching?
It's just not optimal,
Yeah.
honestly.
Why?
Because you're playing, right?
Yeah.
And let's just say, for example, let's I call you out on something, right?
Yeah.
But you might view me as the player still.
Yeah.
So there you can see the problem between that. And I might be coming off as coach, but it's just not my position or my situation to do that, you know? That's
Yeah.
why it's not as good. The best way it could be done is through like someone else.
Yeah. Uh,
I could present the idea, then we just talk about it, and whoever's coaching or head coaching can lead it.
So would you say that in League of Legends specifically or in general that player coaches are not a good thing?
It's just bad if you don't have a coach at all.
Yeah. So
Like
if you
someone like you shouldn't have the player as your coach.
yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think we rolled the dice there and we saw what
Yeah.
happened. Hey, but Mash, just for what it's worth, man, if you were my coach for the whole year, I wouldn't have been upset. I just would have yelled at
Thank
you a
you.
lot. That's it.
Yeah, yeah, that's fine.
Um,
I respect that.
I kind of asked you this one already, but I had thoughts on O's
Okay.
talent, but I think you somewhat mentioned or spoke about it briefly.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, thoughts on O's talent? Do you think there's any good players, any players that could play overseas?
yeah. I mean, the Bombers lineup, the three residents can definitely play overseas,
Yeah, they look poggers,
in my
right?
opinion. Yeah, I think Bombers did the right choice by trying to get FBI, Ryoma, and Rogue.
Yeah,
They are, I think, best in role.
that's fair enough. Just Lane Kingdom team.
Then, yeah, they're good laners, but they're also like really good team fighters.
Yeah,
So,
I,
like,
I
that's all you can ask from your carries, and Port's good too. He knows how to play the map.
I think that's the thing. And what tell me what teams are like this in NA? But it's like that. It's like you know, you know this when you're playing a game and like
Yeah,
probably as an example, it's probably like when you were an Echo Fox, maybe when you were versing like TSM. I know you beat them, but when you were versing
Yeah,
like TSM or whoever the best team was at the time, you could have like a 3 or 4k gold lead, but like it wouldn't feel like you were winning because like you had to. You know how you can play against some teams when you're 3 4k ahead and you know the game's over? Like it's just over. Like you've won the
yeah,
game.
yeah,
You don't
yeah.
have to play team fights properly. You can just start a
Just
fight.
run at them.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
just run at them. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
I feel like Bombers and maybe there's maybe like one or two more teams, but
yeah.
that's like
Okay.
I'm being generous. Where like if you were 4k up, like you had to play team fights properly because they would just outplay you.
Oh
Like
yeah, TSM was like that for sure.
yeah,
And I see what you mean. Like when I was playing against Bjerg and Double Lift, fuck man, like those are such sick carries. Like you can't like be lazy
what does it feel like?
because
Does it feel bad? Like are you just like oh my god? Like because you know how you like you know how when I was a player, if I ever got a lead, I
hmm
would feel I would be like I could almost autopilot it. You could almost like autopilot it in a weird way. Not in a way where like you're not trying to win and you're not actively
it's just
thinking it.
formula. It's formulaic at
Yeah,
that
yeah,
point.
yeah,
I know
yeah.
what you mean. Yeah.
But when you verse those players, it's like wait, I have 2k, like I'm stressed. Like I have a 2k lead, I'm stressed. I need to like play properly.
You just gotta slow it down, really, but don't slow it down too much, of course, where they can just like bring it back. I
Yeah.
think you have to like, it's all about denying resources and making sure you're getting something from each play, each reset. So it's like fine.
Mm.
It's about starving like carries out. If you starve carries out, they can't do anything. So if you just play the game to high level macro, then those type of players can't do anything.
Do you
But if
think
you like, go ahead.
do you think it's just micro from them? Is that why? Is that why they can come back?
A bit of that, but if your macro is also bad, they can come back. Right? It's like, oh, if you're fighting for no reason,
Yeah.
then it's bad. Like, let's just say, oh, if your waves are not pushed, you're not fighting for a dragon, baron, rift, or any jungle camps,
Yeah.
then it's like, okay, then they're gonna have good advantageous fight.
Mm. Mm. I
Like
back
the
that.
way it is nowadays, the way it is like, okay, if you're behind, you need to look for fights to fight for something,
Yeah.
and you need to know that they're gonna try to do that, so you gotta avoid that situation.
I actually think that's what we struggled with. We'd fight for
Yeah.
nothing a lot of the time. Oh, Monk S. Um, so yeah, most recently you were a coach because that's kind of your post OS where you ended up. How was that
Yeah.
experience? Because I know you did like lots of coaching in the past. Because I don't know if I told this story, but like Match is probably the first player for those of you that are watching, the first player that I played with that like I was kind of shocked at like how much he reviewed the game and like looked at his mistakes in even in winning lanes. Because like I don't think there's a I think like there's a culture to review games in professional environments, but I feel like the sometimes it's you're looking at it for the sake of looking at it rather than being critical. Like you can easily rip up a replay and then just like fast forward and like
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
pretend you're watching, but are you really watching? But Mash, without fail, every single game, every scrim would pull Kuden, who was the support at the time, aside, and they would watch the lane and literally talk about it for like until there was something that got solved, or like until they were like agreed that there was a better way to play it. And I think that was like the thing that kind of motivated, or it like it kind of made me realize like, damn, everybody's doing it this harshly overseas. So, and that's why I thought like this leads into like you would be like a very good coach because, um, like you did that stuff and like you weren't willing to just accept winning lane. Because like there was times where you won lane and you're like, damn, we played this so badly. They just played it worse. Like,
Yeah, I say that all the time. I
yeah,
like even if I'm losing matchup and I'm supposed to lose this matchup and they just round it down, I'm just like, yeah, this is not how it's supposed to go, but I'll take it.
yeah,
It's like that's how you see it. It's not like, oh, I'm so much better than that person. I mean, you might be better than that person, but realistically, when they're in the driver's seat and they just crash the car,
mm,
like you didn't do anything. You really didn't do anything.
yeah,
So
and yeah.
that's how I see it.
So so that leads kind of what I was saying was that leads into like your coaching experience, and that's why I was like when I
Yeah.
found out you'd be on like helping out and coaching a team, I knew you do like really well. But what was that experience like? Was it different? Like because was it different between like reviewing a VOD like that with Mike, or was it kind of the exact same thing?
It's like very similar. Like the way I reviewed with like TSM bot lane was like, hey, AD, you're supposed to be doing this. You need to look for this. This is like your formula to winning this lane.
Mm,
You need to play like this if you want to get good at the game. You need to this, right? For
mm,
support, it's like same thing. Then eventually when it comes to like a duo situation, I'm just like, hey, you guys need to like bounce off each other, etc., etc. Kind of similar to what I did with Mike actually,
Yeah.
right? But that's just like strictly for lane. For Peter, he did most of like that all that macro stuff. Then if he needed my opinion or like he wanted me to chime in on something, then yeah, I chime in a macro. Then for draft, I just gave my opinion on draft. Like it was just very simple.
Yeah, pick me Kate Morg bot lane or I'm leaving the game.
Yeah, basically. Or
Uh,
Zyra Khan or FF, you know. So
yeah. Zyra Khan or bot lanes open at 15.
yep.
Where's your passion then? Is it coaching or playing or you don't know or both or you don't care?
Uh, Overall, I don't know. I just like League of Legends, right? So that's
Mm,
first and foremost. The way I see it is, after my in-houses and my like performance, where I see myself as playing, I will continue playing
mm,
because I think playing is not always forever.
yeah,
Maybe you can chime in about that. Then like coaching can happen at time because that's all like knowledge based and how frequently you watch the game and how you keep up with the game. So my passion is playing,
mhm,
but by no means I don't. It's like I still would like to coach later on. I've mentioned in the past or like to other people. It's like, yeah, coaching is something I want to do because I want to be able to change the way like someone grows, and I want to be able to like make that talent become something great, right?
yeah,
I think in general, our like coaches across everywhere, they just say stuff like, yeah, you shouldn't do this. Or oh, I should have picked this, or they look at LCK draft and like, oh, let's draft like this. I don't really abide by those like standards right now.
yeah.
Like the way I want to coach is like it's like, oh, I'm gonna make sure this guy gets mechanically solid, sound. I want to make him smart, and I want to make sure they're good in draft as well,
Yeah,
right?
being good
I
in
don't think
draft is
like
important.
yeah, drafting is super important. So I
Mm.
think like the baseline for coaching right now is like so low standard that I feel like I could do a lot better coaching as well. But obviously first.
I think there's kind of like a stigma behind like 20, 20 like 2-year-old players plus that like they can't get better or like that they're nearly finished. But I think like if if you take a 24-year-old player and then like you want to like put them in your team, like they can play for another 3 to 4 years. Like that, I mean, what I mean is they won't get worse physically. Like mechanically, they won't get worse. Like if they really
It's
have
just a
the
mindset.
yeah, if
It's
they
the
have the
mindset if you
drive,
want to get worse. Yeah.
yeah, and like I think the stigma is kind of like, oh, this guy's like 23, let's not put time into him, you know? Um,
Yeah.
and I don't know if I like that. Like obviously I like giving kids a chance. Like I'm all for giving like a 17-year-old like a chance and things like that. But I feel like 23, 22-ish year old players shouldn't be overlooked, especially if they can offer like so much. Um, and I kind of one thing I've noticed anyway in not so much OS because I think OS there's like less of like a talent pool. So it's like if you can get like that 23-year-old player, like then you'll get him. But or 24-year-old player, but I feel like in NA that's something that I've seen. It's like people don't want to take risks or not risks, but like they don't want to go for like the tested veteran.
Yeah, I think the way it is because there's only 10 LCS spots nowadays, and there's just more talent coming through.
Mm,
And it used to be NACS, the one for relegation, and you need like the best players at the time.
yeah,
But now there's no more relegation, right? So that's meant for developing or like working the 10-man roster. So people would rather pick up someone cheaper
true.
and younger and just see like dice roll if this guy will actually be good. But in my opinion, it's like if you don't have the right coaching for that, then how can you actually make these players good?
But if you pick
Not
up
many.
if you pick up
Yeah, what's up?
4 young players, like let's say you pick
Yeah,
up 4 really young players, like then you pick up a fifth young player, I could see how that could go quite poorly. Like I could see it. Um,
yeah,
whereas
yeah.
like if you
I
picked up,
mean, 100 Thieves actually has stunt and 4 young players.
yeah,
So like, I think the way they did it was like pretty good.
I like stunt. I know stunt.
Yeah.
Um,
So like, I think like yeah, most of those guys ended up playing like game or two of LCS. Like Ligo was
yeah, I
like
think they
playing
all
really
played.
well.
They played last week, no? I think they played the last
Yeah,
week.
everyone except Prismo.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
I think, and I like that idea because like you I don't like if you want to go and be cheap and not cheap. If you want to get like cheap players for like, the last for four slots, then if you have like the one veteran or older player, to kind of guide this, steer the ship, then like
Yeah.
I think that's highly valuable. I think that's like in any sport that happens really. Like if you look at any sport in around the world, like they always have at least like one mature like older person. So, but
Like
yeah,
Juves.
yeah, too old now though. Um, so what does Split 2 look like if it goes perfectly for you?
Perfect for me. I play LCS.
Oh, okay, all right,
Yeah. But I think like more on
yeah,
like a real outlook. It's like okay, I play Academy for a split,
mm,
or even like half the split, then I promote to LCS,
okay.
right? Or I
Too
even
bad.
play
There's no
Academy
three
for the
splits, bruh.
yeah. So I play for the split, then I get promoted, or I play well enough Academy to play LCS next year.
Mhm,
So either of that like floats my boat,
mhm.
or if I somehow get like a great coaching opportunity, I end up coaching. That's it.
Yeah, that sounds what I don't see why any of them aren't achievable anyway from knowing
Yeah.
you. Um, so there's probably lots of aspiring professionals or players watching this. And
Okay.
if you could rewind time and go back on your long career, would there be a bit of advice that you would give your younger self?
My younger self,
Mm.
uh, be a human. Like that's literally like advice I would give to anyone,
In the
right?
sense,
Like
like, in what sense? Be a human.
in what so like in being human is just being a good person,
Mm.
right? That's first and foremost. I think being a good person can get you anywhere in life, like even get a job at McDonald's, right? So
I
that
worked at
be a good
McDonald's.
person. Yeah, see, like be a good person. You know, focus on yourself first for anything else. And I know like everyone's guilty of it because like you type to other people in solo queue. Like, you don't need to worry about anyone else's solo queue. You're playing solo queue for yourself. You're not playing it for anyone else. And yeah, that's basically it.
So there you go, boys. If you take anything away from this conversation, it's to be a good person and don't type in solo queue, which I can say I have done my fair few paragraphs in solo queue. Um, but yeah, nevertheless, there you go. That's some free knowledge straight handed down from LCS, from CS, from OPL, from bloody everywhere that you can think of it. Um, we kind of already spoke about that, and but I'm gonna ask you anyway.
Okay.
Why is reviewing your VODs important? Like, what is it? Why is that important? Like, why should I
Well,
do it? If I'm a player that doesn't like, if 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 I think like, if I think, well, okay, that's the wrong mentality anyway. I was gonna say if I think I
okay.
couldn't have played it better, why should I review my VOD? But
Yeah.
for the people that don't actually watch their VODs, and it's not through thinking that they couldn't have done better, it's just that they don't find it interesting or things like that. Like, why should they review VODs?
Well, first and foremost, everyone has habits, right?
Yeah.
So if you have a bad habit, let's say you side lane and you die to every side lane, then you should review it because like that's a problem. Even like it's as simple as this. It's like the death you have could always be reviewed. It's like, okay, why did you die? Okay? There's a difference between dying doing 40k damage,
Mhm.
and there's a difference between dying for a wave. It's like dying for a wave is just bad.
Yeah.
Set your tempo behind, you lose time to farm. It's just as simple as that. So reviewing your own VODs or even studying other people, you can pick up on good things and pick up on bad things. You want to incorporate the good things into your own play and remove the bad things. You have to have that, right?
Mhm.
So
Would you
that's the way I see it.
would you say that there's like a certain amount of VODs you should watch a week or like a day, or is it kind of like a no, like there's no number to it? Like, because I know there's a few players or a lot of players that are like, maybe they look at their VOD and that's it because their VOD is relevant to them. So do you think watching like an LCK game, an LPL game or something like that, and yeah, is there a number?
I think if you scrim or you're like an amateur player scrimming,
Mhm.
I think reviewing yourself first, like for the first part of lane phase or even team fight phase, really good.
Mhm.
You can always play things better, even if you miss an Ezreal Q, and that Ezreal Q could change the team fight, right? So like that's the baseline, I would say.
Yep.
But if you're taking yourself to the next level, I think I say this to almost everyone
Mhm.
when I was coaching, is like find someone that you highly respect in any region. It doesn't have to be like Korea or LPL.
Hey, it
Do you
could be
think
me.
someone in
It could be me
yeah
that you watch.
yeah it could be someone from LJL or something, right? Like if you think this guy's like a sick player and he plays to the book and really well, like watch a game or two of him and see how it goes.
Yeah.
And if you want to learn certain matchups, I know soul laners do this a lot. Bot laners don't do it as much because like there's a lot of the factors in bot lane. But like if you want to learn how to play a matchup and see how other pros play a matchup, it's really good too. So I don't know. I would say like two for a player. Like let's say like the baseline that watching two games or a game or two
Hmm.
of the player you respect. Then if you need to learn a matchup, then that's just depends. You need to learn the matchup or like a jungle path.
Yeah, I fully agree with you, and that's one thing I actually learnt off you. I mean, I was watching VODs before, but
Mm.
never like if I had a scrim where I was just like it was like open mid or I was like 8-0 or like 8 assists and it was we pumped him, I wouldn't watch it because I'd be
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
well, like we
I.
won, you know,
Hmm.
which is like such a bad way of looking at things. And there's a lot of things like I think you've had the luxury of like actually being a coach and being a player, and I think most players that they won't realize this until they retire. It's kind of like um if you, when you can like disassociate yourself from the game, when you can take the emotion out of the game and you're actually just watching it, you learn so much more. Like I looked at like I've seen my team scrim and I've seen like my team play, and when I'm there for like if I'm there for scrims, I'm not invested in the scrims in the sense that like the result doesn't affect me. Like
Hmm.
and I look at it and I'm like, if I saw that as a player, I would have been better than Faker. Like,
Yeah, agreed.
you know
Hard
what I
agree.
mean?
Yeah. I
And
remember you were like reviewing something on Plays TV with me, and you're like smurfing on Graves one time, and I'm just like, you like showing me like how hard you're smurfing. You're smurfing, right?
yeah,
But I'm just like, you could have comboed way better there, and you're
yeah,
just
hundred
like,
percent, yeah, 100%.
yeah, yeah. I remember that.
Yeah,
I was like, you could combo way better there,
and
and
I
you're just
got
like,
angry at you. I was
you're
like, what?
so,
I was like,
you're such,
what? I was like, what are you
you're so
talking about?
surprised, and
Yeah,
then you're like, oh shit, I fucked up that combo
yeah, yeah,
really
yeah.
bad. Yeah,
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 and I actually I was watching some of our screams. Oh, I
yeah,
sent it to you sent it to you on Skype like the other day, and
yeah, yeah,
and there was like there was a game where I was like playing really well, and then like I was just watching it back, and I was like, damn, I look so clunky this scream, like
yeah,
because I could take myself away from like the fact that I wasn't playing well, but I thought I was playing well.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
but I saw the Armored Mash then 1v5 on Korgmore by the way.
Yeah, that my Kog'Maw was unparalleledly matched.
Yeah, your Kog'Maw was nasty. Was very nasty. Um, and I guess there's no live Twitch chat for this, so I can't copy and paste your socials. But if you want to follow Mash on Twitter, it's twitter.com/don't mash me. If you want to follow Mash on Twitch TV, because he streams in houses sometimes, or he streams sometimes, but not nearly enough. It's Twitch TV /mash. So they're pretty easy to follow. I'll put them in the chat when I play this. But yeah, do you have anything you want to say? Anything you want to depart with besides maybe your email and I'm a free agent LFT by the way.
Let's just say thank you guys for watching. You know, any of my fan base from I guess more host friendly, yeah. So,
Yeah.
uh, thank you for the new fans, and I hope you guys have a wonderful. It'll be a day, right? It'll be a
Yeah,
day
I
of me.
think you're the first person that's probably properly said goodbye. I think everyone else has kind of stumbled on saying goodbye, but that was a good one. Again, thanks for watching guys, and I will go back to being live now. See you, Mash. Thanks, man. And I'm
No
back
problem.
to live. You see how I worked that one out? I did it real fantastically. Yeah. So again, man, like special shout out to Mash. Thanks for joining me, Mash. I know you might watch this back, you might see it, you may not see it, but um, nevertheless, it's always appreciated when one of the brethren help out like that. Um, and nice jacket. It's very cold in my house, so I'm wearing a Kathmandu jacket. Um, just a quick one. In case you guys missed it, I'm gonna do the plugs now. Um, I did a podcast. I was on a podcast. I was on Sean's podcast. That's at Sean Callanan on Twitter. Um, yeah, and I'm gonna switch to it. And the podcast was basically about what it was like to be in esports, the transition from being a pro player, building teams, and we spoke about really everything that it took this year to start up. And so on this podcast, you'll learn about these things. The link to this website, I should say, is here. So if you really, oh, that's a long link. I probably did the wrong link, but if you want to, yeah, listen to the podcast, go to that link. Really just click one button and you can listen to it on this website. And yeah, it's a good bloody listen and a good bloody read. So make sure you head over there, have a gander. Let me know what you think if you listen to it and you have a listen. Yeah, let me know what you think. More importantly, and yeah, shout out Sean Callanan and the Sports Geek podcast. And I don't know if you guys have been keeping up with to date with the off-season movement, and with OCS kind of rapidly approaching, we announced our OCS team and we put together a nice little announcement video. So I'm about to throw to that, and I'll show you guys who's in our roster, and our players actually put together some nice cheeky little videos for that.
Hey guys, I'm Pabu, the top laner for Gravitas, and I'm super excited to announce that Guapi is the Academy top laner. I'm super excited to watch him play, and I can't wait to see what he can achieve.
Hey guys, Pralis here, jungler for Gravitas. I'd like to announce that the OCS Academy jungler will be Why Not Be Friends. I'm super excited to be working alongside him. I think he has lots of potential, and I can't wait to see him grow throughout the split.
He's excited, by the way.
Hi guys, I'm the mid for Gravitas, Harry, and I would like to welcome our OCS mid so our OCS mid will be Hot Chili, and I was in this spot last year, so hopefully I can help him learn a thing or two.
Hey,
Harry
I'm
was
Ray,
excited
the
too,
ADC
by
for
the way.
Gravitas, and I'd like to welcome Retribution to our OCS team as starting ADC. I've seen him for a while in Challenger solo queue, so keen to see how he goes, and hopefully he plays well.
Hey
Yeah,
guys,
Stigma
Stigma here, support for Gravitas. I'd like to announce our OCS support for our Academy team. Last but not least, Emelg. Looking forward to have someone under my wing, and hopefully I can teach him a thing or two.
What if it's also MLG? What if it's MLG? You ever think about that? So I think I had one question just before I head off. There was one question that I had which was about Schoenfeier's potential. Was that you, Babon Uzi? But before I answer that question, I'm gonna get you guys to head over here if you haven't. Head up here, sign up, and you'll be able to keep across everything that I showed you. You'll be able to keep across, and you won't miss any of the information, and you won't have to wait until now to come across it. So yeah, follow that. Follow Facebook. That's where we post most of our pristine content. What I think of Schoen's potential is I think his potential is limitless, but I think he has a lot of problems controlling the way he acts. I think he acts very sporadically. And like it's evident obviously in his comp ruling. So for his sake, I hope he can pull it together, because I think he can be the best OS player that we've ever had / imported, and he can really bring a positive light on OS. I just think he needs to really sort out what he's doing off the Rift and on the Rift sometimes. So yeah, in terms of gameplay, I can't fault him. But yeah, again, thanks for watching, guys. Everyone that was here, I really appreciate it. We'll be back same time next week, different guest, Gravitas to Worlds, and I'll see you there, Baxo or Baxu. I'll see you there. Yeah, 7 p.m. next week. I'll see you there, same time, same place, same me. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Really appreciate it, and adios, amigos.